Greetings and welcome to another installment of Learning Ghanongga here at Lango. I'm Peter.
And I'm Tyler.
We're going to try to pick back up where we left off in the last episode. And if you watched the last episode, odds are you watched without our faces. Unless I solved that little hiccup. So thank you for sticking around for this episode. And now you can see our faces. I think today we're going to make pretty good progress in this story.
Well, it shouldn't promise too much there.
I no longer think we can just finish for sure.
So much to talk about.
This is close to where we're at. We're at 12.
Yeah, we're just at the beginning, paragraph 12.
Flex, what are you saying to me? Why would you do that?
Everything all right?
Yeah, you know how Flex is, giving you little bits of problems.
Sometimes a little temperamental, yeah.
Well, the thing is, it's the best software in the world for this task that is free. There may be other software which addresses this exactly, but there used to be this program called
Shoebox?
Yeah, Shoebox.
I've heard of it. I haven't used it.
I used it like as a demo. Somebody came in and demoed how to use it, and I tried it during the demo. And I know that Tyler and I have another shared teacher, which is Tim Montler, who worked and still works with Qualam and Saanich language in the Pacific Northwest. And Montler did a quite impressive dictionary using Shoebox, and I assume the grammar Shoebox was a part of it as well. But Montler is also a programmer and used Montler. I remember Montler gave a talk about how to make a dictionary, and he described using an endangered programming language, which I believe was called Snowball, and that very few people know it these days. And it's like pretty much useful for this one thing with Toolbox as far as he used it. And all right, so until someone comes up with a better competitor for Flex it is, even if it's a little bit tricky sometimes. We accept it and we appreciate it to whoever created it. I think it was SIL, probably Stephen Verm.
Yeah, I met some of the people who Flex. Wonderful.
No, Verm was the ANU guy. It was Stephen Bird, maybe. Let's look this up. We should give them credit.
Speaking of sidetrack,
yeah. Fieldworks software. I know Summer Institute of Linguistics is the.
Who are we? I don't know if they're too big on putting their names out there.
Honestly, it's kind of rad that they like. It's not even taking credit. Like, it's pretty humble.
That's right.
Pretty awesome. But I'm thankful to them nonetheless. I've enjoyed Flex so much. I'm not. I'm not shilling it. I don't make any money from this. And neither apparently probably does the person who created Flex. They maybe have a job or something, but Flex is free. You can go download it right now. You should have downloaded it the first episode.
Why haven't you downloaded it? Okay, we get verb ovulia in this next one. Zovu, maybe verb. Looks more nouny here. It looks nouny and verb. No, that's going to be a verb with the suffix.
This Z conjunction is the third singular.
That's right.
Favorable subject agreement reserved for some aspect that we're not quite certain of yet. Maybe even evidential or something.
Carried. We have seen a related form before.
We haven't seen Majaiya.
I think that's a first.
Now, I had told you based on Roviana, if I see Majai, I assume that's third plural object. But what we have seen in Ghanongga is you never ever get a followed by ia, ever. In fact, it's not even really clear what the third plural agreement is in Ghanongga. And we have seen at least one instance of third singular agreement being used for a third plural object. So I'm beginning to suspect that the object agreement is more on third person than third person singular. But we will have to find out all these fine details. After we finish the stories, we'll go through and we'll use our concordance and we'll make a list of examples and we'll do our best. As for now, I'm guessing this is axe it or axe each other or axe them. So he axed it, the Ruruhu.
that fellow.
Well, we got to remember. Then it happened that Ruruhu's axe was caught in Mechania's shield, so he dragged to take him down with the shield, but couldn't get him to fall. That is how it went on. They fought with axes, those two wounded one another. Ruruhu was wounded and Mechania was wounded. Then it went on. Wait there, you, said Mechania. So Ruruhu axed. That Ruruhu fellow axed.
Him.
What is ovulia?
Right. We've seen a couple. We have a couple cases with a verb ovulu, meaning carry.
Okay, so
well, if we analyze this manjai, it comes up in the third line there too. Then we'll just need tanaza. I need to figure that out. Only one instance of T-A-N-A-Z. So, shall we get started? Want to analyze this?
I was trying to guess what the translation might be.
Okay, always good.
But I think I'm ready to. Basically, I think it's that Ruruhu fellow axed, and Mechania carried forward his shield.
Ruruhu axed.
Oh, I have a guess what Naza means.
Okay.
Well, that can't be right.
We have seen a Naza without ta.
Yeah, I think ta might be a prefix there.
I suspected as well. It's 3, so I mean there could be a root tanaz also. Not the only possibility.
Oh yeah, I mean there could be a root tana and za. It's like a third person thing, Let's see what Naza gives us by itself.
Means what?
No, that's probably not going to help me as much as I thought.
Anyways, form nanaza.
Ruruhu did some axing, and Mechania carried forward his shield, and he axed. Ruruhu axed. And the shield head of Mechania. Let's just get the translation. I'm anxious to know.
Hold on, though. In our first text, we had nanaza, which seems to be lying in the shallow places. That's going to be my guess for this.
Like in the shallow part of the shield or something.
No, the shallow of the stream in that other story.
Well, I mean, it's the Naza of the shield.
I see.
I think Tanaza refers to some part of the shield or something about the shield and axe entangling. I thought of Naza, which is embrace or wrestle or something in Roviana, but we have seen this Engma correspondence is pretty consistent. So
yeah, that's right.
And so that Ruruhu fellow struck so that Mechania raised his shield because Ruruhu's blow was at the head of Mechania's shield. So if it's at the head, it will turn it. You have to raise it to get it more to the center of the shield.
Turn it. Huh.
That's my understanding. So when I arrived in Tolavai for the first time, the village where I could say like is that I'm mostly a part of that family, I guess. My Roviana best friend is from there, and I'm friends with now his whole family and the people in the village and all that. Anyways, when I first arrived there, the young boys and one of the single adult men had arranged to kind of like, a playful version of a traditional greeting where they run out and basically say, are you here to do good or bad? Like maybe you're here to trade, maybe you're here for war or whatever. It was very cute, but also a little frightening because I didn't know it was about to happen. Anyways, they had kind of thin-looking shields. So I believe lavata is the word for shield in Roviana. Let's see if we can find a Roviana lavata. Now, it's not going to be the same as Ghanongga, of course. Lavata is not the word for shield. What am I thinking? Let's check what lavata means right quick. I think it means like place. Great, large. Lavata means large. Okay. Or heavy. Why was I thinking it means shield? Let's see what the word for shield is. If we can look at the shield, we'll have an idea. Lave. Okay. That's why. I knew it was close. Let's look for Roviana shield. See how this is the kind of picture I was looking for. This is like a museum photo.
Okay.
And you can see how the shield is. So if it was very much at the top, it might turn too much.
Okay.
I believe
Maybe.
that's what they're telling us with the story. Oh, just remarking that the warriors are quite muscular and strong looking. I guess you would be. We're a Roviana warrior. Okay. We know that head is Batu.
That's right. We saw that one next to Patu before. Let's do some analyzing. Okay, we do have axe as a noun, but here we see it just as a plain verb, nothing else on it.
Axe has been used for strike, attack, kill, a lot of things. We use things metaphorically that way too. Like, let me take a stab at it.
Okay.
Tyler, have you seen the kind of new trend to rephrase these idioms?
I don't know.
I am torn here because people want to choose less violent idioms to discuss things. I do like the reduction in violence, but I'm also sad that if we all did it, we will lose the traditional English idioms too. So torn there.
Big time torn.
I'll start saying manja. Let me take a manja at it.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Z ovalia.
Right.
Easy enough.
So here we're going to have to teach Flex that ovulu, which we've seen, can have this other form too. Click that triangle, and that is called an allomorph, and it's... Now, does that actually fit? Is that what's going on in this?
The problem is ovalu isn't 100% carry.
Okay. Ovulu. Strux.
What is the difference between carry and lift?
Not much. You're elevating a thing. You're picking it up, moving it to a higher position.
So think about Portuguese word levar.
Let's change the gloss here to lift instead of carry. I mean in the lexicon entry.
So I controlled left click.
That's right.
Brings us over to where I want to go. I'm going to call the lift, and then the definition, I'm going to say lift, carry.
Boom.
So remember, what's that?
There's other things you can do too. You can give it multiple subsenses and so on. But this will be good. So the lifting idea seems to be
that lift and carry are united in one word.
Okay, like you're saying in Portuguese, yeah.
Yeah, we just lack this one word in English, but it does exist in other languages. He lifted it. I'm gonna say he lifted. The thing is, I don't want to put in extra tense that we don't know. No, it's past tense there. We're gonna put it lifted because it gets the za. Za, I think, does something previous or something that's completive, something like that. So
let me unroll. I'm gonna unroll my eyes because I just remembered that we do have a subjunctive in English. That he lifted. That would be a grammatical string of words. However you want to do it. So mekania is the doer of it. We get the full noun with the name after the verb here. So wait.
it would be.
We're going to erase the shield. So verb and then subject nanange, his shield object. Okay, with the tanaza. Because Ruruhu's blow was at the head. We have, yeah, there's the manjai.
Yeah, so
Tanaza might be the because part. It could be that connective.
Don't we have another sense of ura? Which is because we do not.
Let's take a look. We might want to search our concordance. 7 hits just for URA as its own word. Yeah, glossy will be better for this. Down came the palm and smashed them. There's no but there. Is there a because? They couldn't hold that palm. Pukepore. Pukepore karo. That's
It's
nice.
because there.
That
Because they
that
couldn't hold the palm.
okay. Pukepore looks like it has a negative in it to me with a new subject, with a new preverb pu. Right? The meaning is they couldn't hold that palm, that final clause.
I
There
don't hate
needs,
that.
huh?
I don't hate that. Seems realistic.
Okay.
Let's look at more Ura.
Yeah, let's do it.
They tried to catch it, but it would kill them all because of the
Yeah.
falling palm. So there we get the but is more like azai, which if you thought that azai was and,
But there for the
it won't give us the and word gloss, frustratingly.
for Ura, it does say because the falling. Yeah, yeah. Okay. I think we can. Well, we can look at a few more, but I'm satisfied that because is better than but.
Yeah, I thought we'd already discussed it. We may have discussed it and then not added it to the.
We've discussed many things that yeah.
Well, you got to be tentative.
That's right. Or at least maybe even 11 to 2. Okay, no, there you have it in the discussion. Look at that. Note in Roviana, the meaning is because for seeing that for as much. Maybe let's add it as a separate sense. Let's show people how to do that.
That Roviana uses Ura?
Okay, while we're looking at that,
No.
I'm gonna read.
Roviana uses ba, just like Ghanongga, but ba has those meanings.
Is what?
Okay.
What?
Because for seeing that as much. Okay, Ura is because in Roviana. I say we even just change the gloss to because.
Make it because. Okay, yeah, that works for me too.
And then when we go through and approve everything, we'll see if there's any.
Before you go on, click the see where it says gloss to the left of because. Click the arrow next to that. Click the one above it, sense one. You can insert sense. That would be one way to have both but and because in the same entry. That's how you would do that.
Yeah, I'm gonna put but as sense two.
Good.
Back to text and words. Now I have to go back to interlinear texts.
Looking good there.
Now, what is Tanaza?
His shield, the head.
No, the head is
That's
there
a
in
but yeah,
Baku.
right there. Disregard. So that.
I think your idea that Tanaza
Yeah.
Uda has some sort of because meaning.
Yeah, could be.
Tanaza likely tells us something about like the order of events or the causation.
The naza that we've seen was what? So this could be related that maybe a word why referring to a reason. He raised his shield. Why? Because Rurugu was.
I think like reason because I think would make a lot of sense there. Let's see if we can find any other Tanazas.
None.
I think we're gonna have to leave this one until we know a little bit more about Ghanongga.
Sounds good. Okay, we just have a few missing. That. What do you think of Veinga in 12.2 there, occurring twice?
Okay, I'm gonna try to hide the translation so I don't look.
Good on you. Yeah. So good when Zovulu prefixed or no, just fused but with no suffix. There we won. There we get it. Zaini. Look at that. Zaini.
Zai meaning embark, right? Embark to.
Okay. Shield. Mekania. Zamanja. He struck. Veinga. Another. Do you believe that it's Veinga? Or could we be looking at a mistake?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Always good. So if you, in the spreadsheet, if you just nudge it over, or maybe if you just click that window, it'll tell you the page number. Yeah, just go.
I'm already on the page number.
Column 1, okay, 28.
Yeah. I'm already on the page.
On that page,
it's being
twice.
What if this engma is used for a person we're just not seeing a lot? Because we get ve as its own thing, right?
Ooh, I like that idea. Yeah, ve into ve na. I don't know if we see veina.
Well, in the book, it's definitely n with an underline, and I am hesitant to think that's a mistake because it took an extra step.
That's right. That's pretty good reasoning. Solid logic.
Sia. Do we have Sia yet?
S-I. Oh, that does not look familiar. Siana.
So I think it might be the number 9.
For a number, why wouldn't it have the numeral prefix? I don't know.
That's true. And why would it have Nia?
Right. Why would it be verbed? Why would it look like a verb?
9 times or something. But yeah, we've seen Totozo for 9 for time.
Right, go back up. Siam, I see.
Well, that's Proto-Philippines. So PMP was Siwa. POC Paka Siwa 9 times. Paka, do you recognize that from Hawaiian?
Would have given pa'a or ha'a or something.
It's ha'a or ho'o.
Yeah. Oh, okay. In the word for one, we get a ho'o instead of an eh. But for 9, it's ehia, as you probably know.
Well, and that is good because then you get S to H.
Yep.
W probably deleted. So yeah, that you can see why I would think it was 9, but obviously now I'm a little bit hesitant on that. I think we're going to need the translation because there's too much here we don't know what's going on.
Okay.
Okay, and then Mechania raised the shield. Don't know why it's resisting me here. And when Mechania raised the shield, Ruruhu struck upwards again because he had tricked Mechania. And while the shield was still up for his head, he struck and hit Mechania's jaw. So he got Mechania to raise the shield, and then he came through. He came under it. Like he raised up this way and he came under it. He still had to fake high. You're like, well, if he raised high, how did it hit him in the jaw? He raised high, but he overcommitted.
Okay.
And if Ruruhu had stopped to go for, say, the body, he would have dragged the shield back down. But he faked high and then went like mid-high as a way to look at it.
That azana there.
I'm guessing that's jaw right there. Not Aza. So
yeah.
Aza is jaw.
His jaw. I think
You
so
haven't had
too.
jaw yet?
Interesting that it's also a pronoun.
Well, we get za a lot, so Aza is not that crazy.
I wouldn't call it crazy. Z is likely the reflex of multiple protophonemes. Kazai. How cool.
This works for us.
Ninja.
We would know that Q goes to 0. I'm trying to go to the POC, Proto-Oceanic. We know that Q goes to 0 and S goes to Z. Do we have any other? Now, Sa'a is, they have Roviana. Now look at Roviana.
Okay.
It preserves the final vowel there. So it is a little surprising that it's not Azena. Let's check if that's a typo even.
Always a good impulse.
With the book right in front of us, it's convenient. Definitely not a typo. So
On our end, could be one of theirs, of
on
course,
our
or
end, I'm
but
going
this
to create a
separate
new entry.
and yeah, good.
I'm going to say these are homophones. This is not another sense.
What's
And
a homophone, Peter? What is that?
well, phone means sound, and homo means same.
You are true. Correct. You are true there.
So also noun. Actually going to go to Aza. Say jaw. Potential reflex of POC.
Fix that G to an F.
What did we say it was? QASE.
Kasai.
Is there something at the end there? Cost just
Kas-
E. Okay.
Okay.
QASE. Go back. I say potential because, but we've seen some I don't want to say weird, some interesting vowel correspondences here. So I wouldn't put it past Ghanongga to actually be retaining this, but there is a vowel discrepancy.
That happens.
All right. So when he lifted and barked the shield, Mechania, that Mechania.
Nange, Zaini. I don't know if Zaini is that verb. I'm thinking it's a lot like Azai.
Well, I think it's a verb because it's got object agreement.
Okay.
So from default, I think that.
Lift start. It's good looking like a serial verb there, don't you think?
I think it's 100% of a serial verb. You get the pre-verb agreement there, and then the object agreement enclitic. I think the serial verbs are pretty interesting, and seems to be a pretty common thing in Melanesia, despite the fact the languages are not all related. In fact, if you count New Guinea and stuff, there's several language families in Melanesia. That's a better way to look at it. There's Austronesian languages in pretty much every place in Melanesia, not in like the highlands of New Guinea, but there's some Austronesian languages on New Guinea. But there's also pre-Austronesian languages, commonly called Papuan. If you hear someone say that's a Papuan language in Melanesia, what they mean is it's a non-Austronesian language of Melanesia. It's also not Pidgin or Creole or English or something like that.
So what are we missing? Venga.
Venga and Ciania.
Who struck upwards again? Manja Venga. Oh, that could be the upwards part, don't you think? Again, mutu will be mutu, another for the again meaning.
I think Venga has to be upwards.
Get it twice.
But I wonder if na is like a particle there and it's how up.
How up?
Yeah, ve is how or way or something like this. And we see it combined in lots of different things.
Right.
Even things like origin. And so how up would make sense here.
Wow.
Look, and while the shield was still up for his head,
Ko korapawatan batu nangi. Venga was still up. Kozamanjai. Nazana, he struck and hit his jaw. Exit his jaw of Mechania. Okay, possessive there. All right. Ciania. I don't think it's a numeral. What do you think there? I think that's going to be the tricking part, the verb of being confused. He caused him to be confused or caused him to think a wrong thing. Shield was still up.
do we have anything on Tanai?
Yeah, Tana. It's Tanaza. Tana.
Yeah, it's
We
hard
have
not to think Tana and Tanaza are connected.
a
Tana as a third singular possessive doesn't work great here.
we have Tana in text 2, also mentioning a shield. Can you go to that? Can you go to text 2, the Butu Butu? It's paragraph
Inflex
8.
or
Inflex, yeah. Middle or toward the end of paragraph 8 there. Okay. The sentence begins with Tekua Nana. Toward the end of 8.
there we go.
There we have a Tana, Tanamoku, his hair. Okay. But Tanai with an apparent verb suffix to his. Not great English. Maybe we've misanalyzed it here, but Tana does seem like the right sort of shape for a possessive pronoun.
Well, we've got shield and white hair right there, so it's
Shield of his.
it's unlikely Tana is a shield word here. That said,
Va Tanai, yeah.
cause his head the shield.
I'm listening. I'm intrigued. Yes. Lavatana. And Tatana we have too.
Well, you notice here it says his head, but there's no batuna there.
True. Yes. I think this is our most promising take on this word.
It's nabatunange.
Was still up for his head. Korapa still. Yeah. The shield was still.
I think Venga may be composed with Ve, but we shouldn't decompose Nga as up or something at this point. We
Okay.
just put Venga as upward.
Sounds good to me.
And if we learn more later,
That would fit with the second occurrence of Veinga there below, where he's striking the jaw, striking upward at the jaw, because he's coming from below the shield.
I have no idea what the word class is here.
Right, yeah. Really are.
Nominally it's an adverb, but it's not an adverb.
He
tell because it's literally in the middle of a verb complex.
So he hit it his jaw of Nikan.
So he acts upward another. Now, Siania, I wonder if Siana is the word there.
I think it would be.
So maybe we check Roviana. Now, we aren't going to get an S to Z correspondence here.
We're not. But we get Z in
Late.
Late. To make him late? To trick him?
Well, he was late to defend, that's for sure.
Yeah, to make him late. Okay.
Miss. As in miss the mark.
Yeah.
To be late for, to miss. Siana Nia, and they aren't using this Nia the same way in Ghanongga, so they delete the A and the N, it becomes Siania. I wonder if Siana Nia would have eventually become Siania no matter what, but in Roviana they need to preserve this distinction with Nia. Seems more important than, for whatever reason, in Ghanongga. It's so exciting and interesting and satisfying and puzzling and all these things at once to have studied Roviana for so many years and now be learning Ghanongga and see things I recognize, but they're not the same. You have an intuition, but it's delightful when it turns out to be different. How do you want to glass this? Miss or be late?
Well, personally, I'd like the idea. Well, cause to miss. We have the va right before it, right?
Yeah.
Cause him to miss. So what do miss and be late have in common? You're missing the mark. You're something like that.
Okay, so one thing we
I
have
would
to
say
do,
let's take miss in this instance.
I'm actually going to go to the lexicon. I'm going to enter a new word, Siana. The way I want to do it is include the echo vowel as the underlying form from now on, and then when it's deleted, make that the allomorph, because it would never ever occur without some vowel afterwards.
True.
So I'm going to call Siana
Yep.
verb.
Remember, you can.
You don't like miss?
I like it just fine. Yeah.
What is Selani?
That was, where did it occur? In this text, but it missed. When the spear was thrown, but it missed.
Okay, so
How
it's
did
a similar meaning of miss.
Well, in this Siana, that's a person missing a thing. And Solani is the spear missing a thing. That could be an
I'm
important
going to say
difference.
compare
Yeah.
Ruviana, Siana,
Siana,
miss, be late for.
yeah. I missed the ball. That meaning the dance party.
Now, Sion is an allomorph of Siana.
Yeah. Remember, when you're creating an entry, you could just add that A that you think is there.
Yeah.
Your way is fine too.
I think we did the other way before, so I just showed to do it this way. There's
Indeed. Yeah. Cause to miss. Zava.
there's more than one way to skin this solution,
Yeah.
since we're trying to switch our idioms to less violent. And I
More than one.
definitely couldn't make a violent cat idiom around Tyler.
What am I gonna do to you? There's more than one way to pet a cat.
More than one way to pet a cat.
This sentence is looking pretty good. That Tanaina, I really like that pronoun hypothesis on that.
There's more than one way to not harm a cat.
Yeah. All right.
Curiosity got the cat a scholarship instead of the other ones. Okay, so
Because
it.
miss it, cause him to miss it. So still cause. And while the shield was still up, that's where the Tanai part is. The shield was still up for his head. Is that right? Nambatu Nangi.
I don't think they have to say his head either. So it could be important that it's in the interpretation, but it might not be, or in the translation, but it might not be that important because it's clear from context which head it is. This one is definitely a ko that's so. So he axed his jaw.
Oh, when you, yeah, that's a possessive construction there.
We can tell because the na there. So e mechania is the index for na. Who is na referencing? E mechania. So that's why we don't need to know who za references. It's ambiguous because za could be indexing either Ruruhu or Mechania, but because we know whose jaw was hit, we know that za is indexing Ruruhu. What Tanai means? I don't know.
Yeah, let's move on. We'll get it later.
I think it's connected to Tanaza in any case. It's both related to Nange.
Let's go to the next sentence.
I think this has to do with like the top part of the shield. And that
the Tanai does?
The Tana does.
Okay.
And the za might be some sort of index. Maybe things that are not animate can't have the same agreement for possession.
Makes sense.
I don't know. And that here, if you know the top head of the shield and anything can become a verb, then he put the top head of the top part of the shield, the head of the shield, to his own head to defend against a blow, and then Mechania could go right under, or Ruruhu could go right underneath it. So I'm guessing it has something to do with part of the shield, and it's a homophone, but might be one we have to leave for now.
I'm
Now,
okay.
we never really solved this Bako Bako business,
Bako, that's true.
but we had an idea that it was like in order to, or something like that, right?
Was that
So
what it
let's-
was? Yeah, it was not. It was just 4 or 5 lines up.
We have it glossed in order to right here.
Okay, that was the reduplicated. Bako, but so that.
I believe that we didn't actually analyze that word. We
Was
did.
that here it's a verb. Right, we just have that as a single thing.
So let's go ahead and look at the translation because we need it. And then he dragged him down. And both of these, I believe, had to do with dragging too. So let's go back up and look at our other dragging sentence here.
Did we go too far?
I went too far.
We went too far. The sentence begins with Tinana. It's 11:6.
Wow. And it's right before capture, and he dragged. He dragged to take him with the shield. I think Bako is drag and Bako Bako is dragging.
Okay, I like it. So let's just update this entry. We don't have to delete anything. We just fix the entry.
I'm gonna go to the entry.
Yeah, it's gonna
and actually have to backspace Bako.
Ooh, okay. Well, it's just the one instance, so that's not drag.
Well, yeah, because Bako Bako is dragging. We've seen this continuous multiple times.
It's gonna confuse the thing, but it's an easy fix, I think.
Yeah, I actually would be down to just delete this entry and then.
Let's do it this way, though. Let's show how this works.
Okay, so just that we're gonna have to fix all the word glosses then forever.
Yep. That's fine. We're gonna say drag. We're gonna call it a verb. Now, we're gonna have to, in that second line, the top purple line, just type BAKO, or actually click the triangle. That'll do it. And now break it down, and you get drag. That's right. New.
Wish there's a way to.
Yeah, you just click the new option when it.
No, delete the other.
Yeah, there is. That's the word analyses. Delete the other. So top left, near the top left corner, that one, yeah. Bako. There it is. In order to, I think if we just right click that line there, you can delete it. Oh, the word form occurs, but we want to delete that sense. Yeah. So, where we said in order to click.
I want to delete this one here.
That one analysis. Yeah, that's right. That we can do.
Okay.
Oh no. Well, it's nice of it to warn us. Dragging, capture, entangled. Okay, so
I had this whole story last time on how it logically made sense and they didn't have to use the word drag, but we get a couple sentences later and very informative.
We're going to be revising a lot of guesses in this kind of work. Then he dragged him down. Drag, cause, fall him. Looks like the lotua is already analyzed. Fall it.
I've watched a tiny bit of the historical European martial arts on YouTube and such. And it seems to be a big part of winning is basically getting the person to the ground, even with all the armor on. So I know that in mixed martial arts, getting the fight to the ground, if you're a grappler, is the way to win. If you're a striker, you want to defend this, whatever. But I believe that once weapons are in play, the getting the person to the ground is such a kill move. The Olympic sport judo is based on this kind of principle, that you want to hit somebody on the ground. So the ippon, the big throw, I know that ippon counts for like 1 round thing, but 1 point in this case. And the throw itself is considered a kill move, and I think it's because if you put somebody down on the ground hard enough and you have a sword, that's that.
Yep.
And I think it's the same with the axe. He got him in the jaw, and then... All right, let's see. What is Pundala? But he didn't dead that Mechania.
Mm.
So we don't know the translation yet.
With this pu, we have that other potential new preverb pu in puke. He wasn't killed then. Zake, he not dead. Then I guess would be Pundala.
feel like then, yeah.
The only case of PUD in our corpus so far.
It might be yet.
Yeah. For Ndala, we get more. If pu is its own thing, po Ndalai. Po Ndalai several times. Pu Ndala. He wasn't killed then.
Well,
yeah, I kind of like
Pondala might be a word. Maybe this is a typo. I talked about how Pondala might have a little anti-passive on the end or something. So the root might be Pondala, potentially. Not for sure, but potentially. So here I am looking for it.
It'll be the third paragraph on that page.
It is
20.
Pundala.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means. I think I'm going to have to skip it.
Yeah, we'll skip it.
I don't feel super convinced that Dala is the root there in Poo. I'm still a little bit suspicious about Poo being a thing.
Yep.
My eyes are peeled for it, though, to say the least. But
yeah, that's reasonable.
Okay, and this next one, Taina, is an important, and it's probably directly possessed. Opataria. I think we're just gonna have to put in the translation. This is missing too much for us to guess.
It is Isomona. Nizomona reminds me of the words for fish in that other story. Ukai. Okay. And it happened that Ruruhu's brother came and fell across the body of the wounded man. Oh, Taina's going to be the brother. Tasi.
Ho ho.
That interesting.
The C went to 0, so this is the real. Now, all right, so this is, I'm glad you proposed that. We're talking about TACI, right? Which we already said. So going back to, oh, my menu froze for a second. Going back to ACD, let's go to Proto-Oceanic forms. Protoform index, Proto-Oceanic, T.
There was.
Sorry, I was way too fast. Not a capital C, regular.
Younger sibling. All right. Sibling of the same sex. Yeah. Younger parallel cousin. What's up? Well, come back to that another time. Tasi, Tahi, Taina.
Now, what we've seen in
Ruruhu.
Ghanongga is the word Tamatazi, or family, siblings or something. And Tama, presumably from father, Tazi, presumably from Tachi, or whatever it was. And this also you get in Roviana as Tamatasi, so you get the SZ correspondence, which is nice. It means that this word Tamatasi at least went back to Proto-New Georgia, or whatever the shared common ancestor between Roviana and Ghanongga is. But Taina there also seems like a reflex of Tachi, and the C went to 0. Now the C would have become S and then become Z. We get other S with this SZ correspondence is a bit puzzling because we also get SS correspondence in Roviana. It's more like S and Z split and then they remerged in Roviana. But Roviana also has Z. Okay, what a puzzle. I do think that this is suspicious and that either Tazi or Tai was borrowed from another language, also an Austronesian language, and that figuring out which one is the true retention would inform a lot of our historical phonology here. Let's go ahead and call Thai sibling. Do we already have one for sibling?
Ooh, let's see. Maybe if we analyze that tamatazi earlier that way, but I suspect not.
We have the, I think we have the word.
Alphabetized by glosses.
I think I've already used sibling.
Now, you know why some of those columns, some of those rows are super tall?
For fun?
No, but we can fix it easily. Well, maybe it is fun. I don't know. If you want to fix it, it'll make scrolling a little faster. No
sibling in here.
Don't have it. And this means same-sex sibling. If you widen that, you may maybe full screen the flex for a second. Just click, yeah, there you go. Move the entries, make that one wider. The middle one there, the other wider. Keep going, a little bit more. There, now that fourth column with the green, if you widen that, then it has enough space. Voila.
All right, here's what I want to do.
When the thing disappeared.
Get rid of grammatical info.
It may be useful later. It's not gone.
You can add it back anytime.
That's right.
I'm going to get rid of lexeme form too.
Yeah, this is a good thing to show people. That little button in the corner, that's right, we save a lot of space that way. Okay. Let's create Thai. It means same-sex sibling, most likely.
Did we get brother?
One place it would be. Keep going.
Tamatasi we use for brother, even though I said it's probably family. Well, we can call this sibling or we can call it brother again. But I agree with you that probably having same sex or opposite sex is important. And you can see it's not super. Now, Bob reconstructs younger sibling of the same sex, younger parallel cousin of the same sex. So you get sibling of the same sex, sibling of the opposite sex, younger sibling of same sex, younger sibling of same sex, placenta.
Let's just conjecture that it's going to be sibling. Yeah, that seems likely to me.
I agree. Then we get brother specifically there.
Yeah.
Sibling of same sex, younger sibling of same sex. So these ones. Now the thing is there's probably information known to the speakers that's not known to us right now. So Thai might, for example, be younger sibling of the same sex. This might be Ruruhu's little brother or something.
Yeah.
I say we put brother. What do you think?
I would go for sibling.
You would?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad you will, so I will too.
All right. This way we don't have to arm wrestle. Pretty convenient, we're 30 miles away. His sibling, Ruruhu. Izomona is not fish, but name. It's the name word. Yeah, his sibling of Ruruhu. So he went and, now the sentence says he fell across the body of the wounded man. And we're missing that opataria. So another verb, what do you call it? Another serial verb here.
Do we have paleke?
Paleka.
Paleka.
That's right. It's the wounded man, the person his wound. Yeah. Here Tinoni. Yeah, the wounded man. The body of the wounded man. I wonder if Tinoni really means more like body here. Either way, the person who was wounded.
We had one before where it was me and my body or something were conflated. So that there's something to it.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, opataria, what does this mean?
Cover or cross? I wonder, is it ia or ria at the end? Because opatara is quite long for us.
Hard agree. Completely agree with that.
Why would it be plural? Is he covering up his wounds? The wounded parts? Is that why it seems to be plural?
Maybe there was other wounded people. Or Opatara is. Or this is puzzling.
Mhm. Let's go to the name word coming up. And we just can't be sure. Izongo.
I think we've got Izongo before.
We have, yeah.
His name.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally like his name, except the doesn't carry definitiveness. Ukai.
Let's think about the Azai here. Yeah, under in for now. There you go. What is the Azai doing? Nisongona? Oh, it could be a position 2 particle. His name, so what? And we are told the name of his brother was Ukai. Can you scroll up a little, maybe go to gloss view again? And get it all on one screen.
Paranga.
Yes. Somebody says, his sibling, the sibling of Ruhu Ani.
Of that Ruruhu. So
Could
the
be.
sibling. He said the sibling of that Ruruhu. His name. So Ukai. His name's thus Ukai or whatever.
Yeah, it could be.
And they have it here in passive, but we probably don't think.
Wait, what's passive? We are told.
We are told.
Yeah.
They
tell us.
I think that the za there is like it is said.
Okay.
It said. Notice there's no object agreement.
Right. This verb doesn't ever seem. We don't ever seem to get parania.
Yeah, I don't know. What are we gonna do with opataria? Want to leave it?
Let's leave it for now. It's too
I mean,
much
I'll do a quick
uncertainty.
search and see if we get it anywhere. No, nowhere.
Not yet. Parang.
Azai. Yeah, take a guess there. Be brave. So captured the axe, Ruruhu. So he axe caused dead, he said to him, Mechania.
I don't think he's capturing the axe, but he's taking it.
Yeah.
So when he
So Ruruhu raised his axe as he thought to kill Mechania.
He was like gonna kill you. Manja axe kill.
We've got the Guni again as think.
Mm-hmm. So Vukeia.
Now we've got Vuke already as.
That's right. It's interesting that it's apostrophed here. We could just treat it as a variant of Vuke, which we already have.
So that's this is really good.
It sure is.
Vuke because it can't be Vukei, because not clear. It can't be Vukeia, too many vowels.
Mm-hmm. This seems to be optimal. We could just treat that, or we could delete the C, or tell it that VCUKE is just a variant of VUKE. Yeah. Let's say variant, not allemorph.
Spelling variant.
VUK. Oh, we haven't got it. What? I thought that we had done that.
I think that we have Vuke as being composed of Va-uke always.
It always is. Yeah. So let's do that.
Case, I'm going to make VC an allomorph of
VA.
Va.
Cause dead him. Kill him. Axe him dead.
Kill it.
All right.
Or yeah, it could be kill him. I mean, I know it's him in this case, but it'll generalize out more if we use an it. In fact, a lot of times I'd rather use third singular instead of he or she. It's just so awkward in English, but
yeah,
it would be much truer to the original.
right.
Text.
So when you go, can you go back to the analyze real quick? Analyze view. My thinking when I was using Flex on a couple different projects for many years was that with the free translation and with the word glosses, you can get something close to standard English. But with the analysis that you see here, there you can get really precise. So I would only want it to say third singular object rather than him, her, it for the es suffix. But then in a particular case, you can specify which it is. That's a nice thing about Flex. All right, let's go on. Then, gosh, wow, Tabari Manja. We accent all over the place.
Probably we fought there.
Me and him, Arihuani,
Me and that.
said,
Yeah, probably me and him.
Zaiza Ovulu. Seems like we have a sentence break there because there's a capital, but there's no final punctuation.
How are you not going to guess Azai here?
That's a bit strange. I don't approve nothing.
Are you stupid? Come on now.
And nudge it. So
nice. I'm just gonna put so whatever.
Amanja Zaturu. So he carried and captured. Ruruhu grabbed the axe. Ukai
and when he killed it,
killed
Ruruhu killed Mechania.
Okay. Wonderful for word order. Don't strike there, it is I. So I've split that into multiple cells. Totonai.
Oh. He fell
on.
across the body of the wounded man.
The brother did, yeah.
Fell on the ground. And then when Ruruhu went to kill Mechania, Ukai was like, hey, don't strike there, it's me. Ruruhu held the blow, and Ukai stood up, and then Ruruhu killed Mechania. So Ukai literally fell. He tripped over the body of Mechania.
Yeah.
It's fall or trip. Opataria. It's just an unlikely 4-syllable word. Opatara. I don't see what other explanation there is. This is a great explanation. He went and tripped on the wounded person.
I mean, it could also mean cover or cross even.
Fell across, go fall. I think the go gives us the across meaning. But it's fall on it. Maybe fall upon. What do you think, Tyler? I'll go for fall upon.
I would just leave it for now. Maybe we can help with more info later.
Okay. All right, let's put in our. This is obviously multiple together.
That's right. Ukai.
This kind of thing is always kind of interesting to me, that in these stories you'll get a detail like, oh, there's this guy, his name is Ukai, he fell across the body, and when Ruruhu went to kill him, he was going to kill Ukai, but he didn't. It's like there's no other real reason for Ukai to be in the story, and it doesn't. You expect it to add some detail or be important, like, oh, Mechania wasn't dead yet, and he killed Ukai. But nope. Nope. So I suspect that we are still missing something rhetorically. Like what the point of this detail is probably does make sense when the storyteller told it. It just doesn't make sense to us. I wonder if how many of these storytellers are still around, and if we could go ask them questions. And they might be like, I said that 40 years ago. I don't remember, but
Take a look in the booklet at the bottom of 28. If you think there should be, I think they just left out the dot, the period. We get a capital in the next line. Do we want to add one there in those empty brackets? Come on.
yeah, there is none there, but we could add one in the brackets. That's what you want me to do?
Let's do that. Okay. Remember to click on a single word before you do this.
I was. Wrong word, though.
I think you were in a free translation. There we go. Just right in there, dot it. And it should break the line. There we go. Yeah, this makes more sense. Ooh. Held the blow. Namanjaza. Oh, namanja. Turu yukae. Yukae stood up. Tonai, and then namanja ukea.
So carry, lift, and hold all have similar meanings. I'm going to call this hold.
Well, the capture is there too.
Right. The capture, the tekwa, that's the part where that's the blow.
No, I don't think so. The blowing part is namanja. The axe swing.
Well, I agree. Okay. But so you want to call this carry, not hold?
No, it's not carry, it's raising up. It's lifting up. He held it up.
Oh, so we have lift as the other thing.
Is that it? Was this the verb?
I'm going to change it.
Can you go to analyze?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do. That's why I changed it back to this. Lift. So it is the lift carry verb.
I don't like carry in this instance. He's catching, right? He's catching the guy's swing.
He's holding his own blow.
Is he?
Ruruhu is restraining himself.
Yeah, still carry. It doesn't work as well as hold. Hold to me is hold is the meaning of the serial verb here, the two of them together. Hold, capture, raise, capture.
I think we'll change it to lift because we know that he's
raising his arm.
Lifting and capturing, lifting and seizing or whatever. Like he was about to do it. We literally can't even translate this story well because we don't have serial verbs. And even if we did, they wouldn't semantically add up to the same thing. But like it's like we're missing a whole color in our senses because people will often use this kind of linguistic determinism or relativism or Sapir-Whorf or whatever to say, oh, if you don't speak this language, you can't perceive the world this way or whatever. It's not because of words. First of all, only the softest versions of that are accepted by linguists, but something like serial verbs, you get like 3D images in your head of pathways and things that that is something that you're kind of losing.
Yeah.
When there is a book, What You Lose When You Lose a Language, and it's just some things. There's so many things that are lost when you lose access to a speech community or the speech community loses access to their traditional language and rhetoric. And I would love to learn Ghanongga well enough that I could express stories with serial verbs. And I bet that it is awesome. All right, let's look at this next sentence.
I bet you could serial kill it. he how finished the way he finished killing him, Ruruhu Mechania. That is how. I mean, that is the way that Ruruhu killed Mechania.
Cause
The warrior.
dead. Hey, don't do that.
Did.
Kill. And their knee is separated. Look, it's even suggesting.
Knee.
I guess it always suggests it, but there it seemed really salient. I was like, oh, it is part of it. So there we have the knee as a separate thing written.
Knee and E, yeah.
So that is how he killed the dead. That is how Ruruhu killed dead Mechania, the warrior from Nango.
Seems to be.
That is how it ended. How Ruruhu killed Mechania, the warrior from Nando. Okay, so I missed a little thing there. I said killed dead. So that's how it finished.
Vein Beto. That's pretty cool. The how finish. That is his how finish.
So Ruruhu was like over there in Morovo and like, hey, I heard they have this tough warrior over Nango, Mechania. Let's go to his village and just start killing people so I can fight him. I wonder about what caused these compulsions. I know there's culture and tradition, but they emerge over a long time. I think there was probably stark competition for resources, and that constantly headhunting made everything more survivable one way or the other. But I can't say. I'd be very interested to know. All right, so do we have
What's your take on Varipera?
Varipera? I know what it means.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a guess?
Well, I was just looking at the spreadsheet, so I'm not gonna say.
Vari is distributed, para means fight,
Yep.
Varipera means war or battle.
Yeah.
I obviously recognize this from Rovia. So
The first occurrence of pera in our corpus.
we hadn't seen it yet. I think I may have said it before on an earlier episode, predicting that we would see it, but we hadn't seen it yet. So Varipera is war. Or something. I'll look at the translation before we enter it.
Oh yeah.
Now, is this Vaya or Vaya?
Hard to know from our vantage point.
I'm going to go ahead and spoil it with the translation.
Yeah.
My guess will be the place where they finished the battle. That's the place where they finished the battle, the two men or whatever. There ended the fight to the death between these two.
What do you make of the word of the sentence initial place noun there? There ended the fight. I like how they mirror that with the English.
And it kind of makes me realize there is a little bit imprecise in English because you say there for a place.
Other things too.
There is like a subject. There's water in the fridge or whatever. So
Tandi ahikoriria Bahia. The root is vai and the suffix is ia, so I could see either prosodic structure being likely. That makes sense.
We've just seen
they kill it. Interesting that it's third singular, if that's what it is. Killing each other. Just killing. The most likely object is third singular.
I think that the gay vaya is fight to the death. They to the death of this Varipera Tandi Arikori, they fight to the death. Varipera is fight. We have two options here. We could attempt to analyze pera as its own word, or we could analyze Varipera as one word and then go to the components and acknowledge that one component is Vari.
I like the latter option, personally.
I do as well. I just thought I'd introduce. And this is Nouni. the resulting compound is a noun.
True. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons I didn't want to decompose it in Flex.
Mhm.
This components part of Flex really gives you the ability to like do a little tiny bit of historical analysis or etymological analysis. All right, well, this word today, varipera, is not two things to put together. Maybe it was at one point, but now it's one thing. So
That's right.
this is the way we're going to do it. I think we might get through the. I guess there's a fair bit of story left, and I'm running out of time. Let's see if we can get one more sentence.
We've got Tavai, Tava. That's what we're missing.
So they killed them. The warriors killed him, so they jumped out.
Okay. That Tavai, that could be the passive ta prefix and the kill root.
Yeah, let's go ahead and spoil this so we can get there a little quicker.
They killed the warrior.
They killed the warrior, so they went out to the small island to wait while they dried the head of Mechania.
Fabulous. So that's, we have the small island. Yep, islet, Nusa. They jumped out. They went out. Okay, they just jumped across the water to that island. So they go to islet again. Wait. So they go Tavai. That's going to be dry, I guess.
I think Tava is dry and it is
Dry
east.
place. Oh, this Ketakoi in the last line, that's probably going to be while, using the metaphorically extending place for time.
We're seeing a lot of interesting like temporal metaphors, spatial temporal metaphors in Ghanongga. I think when people say you lose a worldview, this is what they mean, a worldview encoded semantically in different words. They don't mean that because you lose this word, you can't see the color anymore, but I think Tava is the root for dry, and
dry it. Go and dry it.
Yeah. How do you feel about that? Tava for dry?
I'm on board. The verb to dry, yeah.
In this case,
look at that word order. Nambatu na I mekania. So ni we have for possessive where it's fused, but here we have them separate. Unless it's batuna and it's just written separate.
I think it's just written separate, and I think it should be
Batuna. Intriguing, though.
Yeah, I think that if we go to analyze, this is that's what I would do. It's obviously not the art. Come on now. How can you do this to me?
Right. When it updates the identity of the thing, it doesn't update the word gloss. You got to do that.
That's pretty frustrating. And the art, this isn't even art anymore. I'm going to go and put it not sure. It doesn't matter. Okay, so.
Secretary, not sure.
I guess they wanted to dry the head before they went back to Morovo. Maybe they didn't want the wet head in the canoe the whole time. But it just seems like so they went and their goal was to kill Mechania, and Mechania fought bravely. And I wonder what happened to the other villagers and stuff. Surely people fled, but Mechania didn't fight by himself. There was other warriors, right? So
sounds right.
Well, in any case, I think we got to put a pause in it today, and we're going to have to finish this story in the next episode because I'm running out of time. But we are left with the sad news of Mechania. And we'll see what happens in the rest of the story because there's like a paragraph left or so. So
I think there's a few more. Let's see.
Yeah, there's a little bit more left. So we're going to have to see what happens.
We have 16 total. We're only in 13.
So there's a couple paragraphs left. We'll see what happens. All right. With that, I'll see you next time.